feel what you did was wrong?
I know it was wrong.
What do you think your punishment
it's wrong
should be?
in the eyes of God, okay?
In your eyes, I'm asking you, not in the eyes of God. In your eyes, do you feel like you did what you had to do?
I didn't have to do that. It was wrong. Look, I don't want to say yes, but my son told me I saved him.
This is the horrifying story of a mother who became a symbol of unthinkable cruelty, a woman who did not just break the sacred bond between parent and child, but shattered it with brutal precision. On the morning of March the 24th, 2015, a court-ordered eviction team arrived at a modest townhouse on Detroit's east side. The tenant, 35-year-old Mitchelle Blair, had fallen behind on rent payments and was nowhere to be found when the eviction team entered. The house was cluttered and smelled of neglect. As workers began removing furniture, one item, an ordinary-looking white deep freezer in the living room, refused to budge. But when they finally pried it open, they made a discovery that would send shockwaves across the country. Inside were the frozen plastic-wrapped bodies of two children, later identified as Stephen Gage Berry and Stoney Ann Blair, Mitchelle Blair's own son and daughter. Police were called immediately. A neighbor quickly told authorities where Blair could be found, leading them to another nearby apartment.
What did you do to Stoney Blair that makes you guilty?
She raped my son. I intentionally killed her.
How did you do that?
Starting from the beginning, when I found out about what Stoney was doing, it was 9 months later after finding out about Stephen. So for the whole 9 months we were in the house, she was still raping my child. I did not know that. When I first found out, after she told me, I took a minute because I was not understanding, that she did that to him. But I repeatedly punched her. On many occasions, my son, I told him to tell me every single thing she did to him. So as she was telling me, he was telling me more and more things that she did. I assaulted her every time he told me what she did to him. By assault, I mean I punched her. I have put a bag over her head till she lost consciousness. I threw hot water on her, scalding hot water from the faucet. Yes, I hit her in her head multiple times, over and over.
Was that shortly before she died?
That was actually the day before she died and the day she died. I hit her in her back. It's like on her tailbone. I kicked her.
Where she was staying with her two remaining children, aged 8 and 17. When confronted, Mitchelle Blair confessed without hesitation. She admitted that the children in the freezer were hers and that she had murdered them. As she was handcuffed, she told police, "I'm not evil. It was just an evil act." An autopsy revealed that Stephen had died in August 2012 at just 9 years old, and Stoney had been killed in May 2013 at the age of 13. Their bodies had been kept in the freezer for more than 2 years. Blair's chilling confession detailed a prolonged period of torture before each child's death, all of it committed within the walls of their own home while the two surviving siblings were forced to bear witness. Blair claimed that both Stephen and Stoney had been sexually abusing her youngest son. In her testimony at Wayne County Circuit Court, she said the abuse was discovered in a disturbing moment in August 2012, when she allegedly found her youngest boy simulating sexual acts with his toys.
When you say a while ago, was it a year, 2 years, a month?
Around there.
Around where?
Year or two.
Blair tells Officer Diaz her children's bodies have been in the freezer for years. It's 2015 at the time of the interrogation. According to court testimony, Blair first killed one of her children in 2012.
So you came home about 2 years ago?
He said, "Look what he's doing." So I told him to show me what he was doing, and I asked him why he was making the dolls for each other. I asked him, "Did somebody do that to you?" And he said, "No," at first. And he said, "Yes." And he put his head down, so I looked at him. And I just asked him who did it, you know what I mean?
So he was playing with 2 dolls?
No, his little wrestle, the little wrestle figures. Just, our boys play with that toys.
And he was making them each other?
He had Now, I know I
When she questioned him, he told her that Stephen had done bad things to him. According to Blair, she confronted Stephen, who admitted to the abuse. What followed was a brutal, systematic campaign of torture. Over a period of roughly 2 weeks, Blair beat, starved, and poisoned her son. She forced him to drink Windex, suffocated him with plastic bags, and poured scalding hot water on his genitals until his skin peeled away. She also lifted him by the neck using a belt and asked chillingly, "Do you like how this feels?" Eventually, Stephen died on August 30th, 2012. Blair wrapped his small body in a blanket and placed him in the deep freezer. 9 months later, in May 2013, Blair claimed her youngest son admitted that Stoney too had raped him. Initially, the boy denied it, but Blair said he eventually confessed after she threatened to beat him. She then turned her rage toward her daughter. Blair starved Stoney, punched her, beat her with a wooden plank, and asphyxiated her with a plastic garbage bag.
Stoney would actually make him sit there while, in his words, her and Stoney did the nasty stuff, and then they did it to him. And now that's
Way of inflicting punishment.
definitely.
Okay. Where did that happen? The death.
Her actual death.
Yes.
Right.
Not the location of the house. Where did you live? The city of Detroit?
Yes.
Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Did you ever actually see anything of any sexual abuse of any kind between either Stephen and Stoney?
When Stoney finally succumbed to her injuries, Blair wrapped her body in a plastic bag and placed her in the freezer, on top of Stephen's frozen corpse. Throughout her court proceedings, Blair remained unrepentant. She called her murdered children demons and said, "I don't feel no remorse for the death of them demons. I would kill them again." She insisted that her actions were not murder but justice for her youngest son. However, no concrete evidence was ever found to support her claims of sexual abuse. Even prosecutor Karen Goldfarb confirmed that investigations yielded no signs of rape or molestation. Perhaps the most haunting revelations came from Blair's surviving children, particularly her eldest daughter Gabi, who later described their home as a house of horrors. She recounted being terrified to walk by the freezer, knowing what was inside. She and her younger brother were subjected to constant abuse, with Gabi saying she was burned with a curling iron and beaten with wooden planks.
Would be face down. He had stuff around his neck. So I grabbed Stephen, I grabbed the belt, and I put a belt around his neck, and I lifted him up like, "Do you like how this feels? Being choked with a belt?" So I dropped him. I held him up until he lost consciousness as well.
You were intending to...
No, I did not intend to kill Stephen.
No,
but
I'm not... That's not my question. You were intending to inflict serious physical harm, but not kill.
Definitely.
Did you also punch him?
Yes, I did. Multiple
Also
times.
kick
Yes, I did.
Talk about choking. Did you also burn him?
Yes, I did.
Okay, how did you do that?
Hot water, scalding hot water. In our bathroom, the hot water gets extremely hot. So, his private area, I stood him in the bathtub naked. You my son with Joe, you know? So yes, I threw hot water in his genital area multiple times. Multiple times. Every time Stephen peed in my son's eyes. He put his in his ears, his nose. He peed. Even told me one time, "Mom," and in my eyes, it was
Every moment of their lives was ruled by fear that they might be next. I made sure to watch what I said around her, Gabi told reporters in 2023. One misstep and this is where I'd end up. I'm happy I made it out alive. Blair had taken her children out of school long before their deaths, and the fathers of Stephen and Stoney were largely absent. When neighbors asked about the children's whereabouts, she provided excuses, telling some that Stephen had gone to live with his grandmother or that Stoney had run away. The absence of routine welfare checks or intervention from school officials allowed the abuse to continue unchecked. For nearly 3 years, no one came looking for the children. After her arrest, Blair quickly pleaded guilty in June 2015 to 1 count of first-degree premeditated murder and 1 count of felony murder. She also lost her parental rights to her 2 surviving children. The judge sentenced her to life in prison without the possibility of parole, and she is currently incarcerated at Huron Valley Correctional Facility in Ypsilanti, Michigan. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon for more interesting videos like this. Thank you for watching our video.